Here's my audience. Every year, all over the world, cattle producers embark on some of the longest days of their ranching career, working day. This is the day they round up all the cows and calves and vaccinate them. Hi, my name is Hunter Nickell, and today I'm going to explain the advantages and disadvantages of modified live vaccine and killed vaccines, and which is best to vaccinate calves with. After this speech, I hope you all know the advantages and disadvantages of killed modified live when vaccinating a herd of cattle. People have been vaccinating cattle since sometime around 1872, and advancements in science and technology have significantly improved the effectiveness of these vaccines. I've owned cattle my whole life and work at a vet clinic, which gives me the proper knowledge to speak about vaccinating cattle. In this speech, I will cover what vaccines are, two different types of vaccines, here's one, the advantages and disadvantages of both, and which vaccine I prefer to use. The first step of vaccinating cattle is to learn about what vaccines are and how to use them. According to Health for Animals, there are currently around 100 different vaccinations for cattle that are commercially available for sale. A vaccine is a substance used to stimulate the production of antibodies and provide immunity against one or several diseases. It is treated to act as an antigen without inducing the disease. Vaccinating cattle each year can almost increase the efficiency of turning food and water into proteins and other essential nutrients. Obviously, when you get a vaccine, you have to use a syringe and a needle, which are these two things right here. While most people themselves don't get shots each year, it is critical for a cow and a calf to be vaccinated each year. After you learn about what vaccines are, you need to find which vaccine works better for you according to your operation. There are several different types of vaccines, but the two most common ones I use in my operation are modified live vaccine and the killed vaccine. According to Beef Magazine, modified live vaccine is a vaccine that contains bacteria or viruses that have been modified, which means they have lost their disease-causing ability. An example is Shield Gold, which is what this is. This is a 5-dose vial, which is 10 mil. Shield Gold, like other vaccines, protects against BRD, which is bovine respiratory disease, and other various diseases, which includes IBR, BVD, and other things like that. On the other hand, a killed vaccine is a vaccine that is exactly what it sounds like. The bacteria or virus in the medicine has been attenuated, which means killed, through a process resulting in the death of the virus. An example is VirusShield VL5, a VirusShield 6 plus VL5, which also protects against BRD and other strains of disease. I could not get a bottle of it because it's about this big and it has to be in the refrigerator. After learning what a few types of vaccines are, you need to learn the advantages and disadvantages of both of them. Modified live vaccines and killed vaccines all have their own set of good things and bad things. Some advantages of killed vaccines are they're safe in pregnant animals and they will not shed the virus to other animals. But a few disadvantages are they often require more than one dose and they don't have as strong of a response all the time. Modified live vaccines have a few more disadvantages, but the advantages outweigh them. Some advantages are longer lasting and stronger immune responses, as well as a more rapid immune response. Some of the disadvantages, though, are the virus can be shed to other animals since it is technically alive. Another is the shelf life is not very long after the product is mixed. It has to be used within 48 hours of being mixed together. After learning the advantages and disadvantages of modified live vaccine and killed vaccine, you need to find out which type you like to use. Depending on what you're vaccinating and your budget, what you buy can vary. If you're vaccinating wean calves, the modified live is a better choice due to the immune response, but it is fairly expensive. It is better for the calves to not go back with the cows if they're vaccinated with the modified live in case it does shed the virus, because that can cause a term, well, in the cows it can cause them to lose their calf, which is never good. If you're vaccinating newborn calves or calves that are weaned but are going to go back in the pasture with the rest of the cows that are bred, a killed vaccine is cheaper and safer to use so they don't shed the virus and therefore cause that calf to die. For feedlot producers that have 100 plus head, the killed virus shield or another similar product is the best choice to use. But for small producers like myself, I prefer to use the modified live vaccine in my calves because I can keep them away from the cows for the period of time that the virus can shed. With these simple tips, you should be able to effectively combat disease in your cattle herd if you have one. After learning what vaccines are, what two different types of vaccines are, the advantages and disadvantages of both of them, and which vaccine I prefer to use with my herd, I hope I have given an adequate explanation to animal health management in a cattle herd. Thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed my presentation.